Arsh Toor, welcome to Gut Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I am holding you captive in my home.
No, thanks for having me.
podcast.
This is awesome, and I'm excited to chat today.
Cool. So we've chatted a little bit about like your background and how Stesh pistachio butter came to be. First, I wanted to go back like in time just to set the stage for people. Can you tell me a little bit about what it was like for you growing up and how things were? I know your parents moved over and your dad had been an engineer in India.
Yeah.
And then came over and then had to take on some odd jobs.
Yeah, I think honestly that shaped my childhood, being born into an immigrant family, first generation in Canada, and just seeing the hustle of my dad running a single income family home. And I have an older brother, and just kind of seeing that around me. I always knew like work hard, get good grades, get a steady job. That was like my North Star. And it was great. And like I had a clear path that I knew that I wanted to follow and like make my parents proud. So when I decided to make the switch into entrepreneurship, it definitely ruffled some feathers in the house, like how, my dad would have killed to have like a steady corporate job that's pretty well paying and, investment banking as much as tough career, long hours. It's a pretty comfortable place to be financially secure, and having that security was important. But as I was like more in my career and wanted to do more with my career and the opportunities, making the switch was definitely a hard sell with my parents. But
What did they say?
they were kind of just like, are you sure? And as any parent would be worried about their child, like if they're going to have some worries. And I think just getting them on the same page and getting them comfortable with the risk. And, I'm young. This is the time like that I can do it. And they didn't have the same opportunities where when they came over, they were also young. They were only like 25, 30, but they were raising kids at the time. I'm not at right now. And I have the flexibility to support myself. And if not now, then when? So I want to live my life with no regret and take this leap. Like who knows what could come out of it. And it's like if you don't go for something, you'll never know.
Yeah. What do you see as like, did you have like fears of having regrets? Was that something that like helped kickstart this journey?
Yeah, it was kind of like, if not now, then when? And am I just going to be doing stuck in like the rat race? That's kind of how I always saw it. And I feel like I wanted more out of my career. And I didn't even think that was entrepreneurship. Like growing up, I was never like, oh, I want to start my own thing. I was very much like, no, I just want financial security. But after I got that in a job like investment banking, I realized it was actually more important for me to enjoy my day to day and be challenging myself. And like the stuff that I do now, like one day I'm doing ops, the other day is finance. I'm tracking our inventory. I'm running our Instagram reels. Like every day is so unique. And I think it really just pushes your boundaries as an individual. You touch on so many things and you wear so many different hats that you really don't get to do in a lot of other careers. And I think with entrepreneurship, your back is just against the wall. Like you really gotta go for it. And some days are going to be really, really tough, but then the good days are worth it. And if you have a good mission, you have a good vision, you kind of take all the steps, and each day just trying to better your product, better your service, whatever it may be, and just really just push for it.
So first you came right out of Ivey, out of undergrad, you went into banking and you did that at two different shops for a couple of years. How many years in total? Like 4?
I think it was close to 5. And I never thought I would be in banking for 5 years. But
Wow.
Time flies.
Did you experience like any burnout when you were there?
100%.
What was that like?
Yeah, honestly, like I definitely would say at my most recent bank where I was there for almost 4 years, I had a pretty positive experience. I had great mentors, great colleagues that I was working with, and got to work on some like really cool deals in the power space and then also in TMT. But the whole aspect of being available at all hours, working long hours. And you know that too, right, from your experience. It catches up to you and you're just a cog in the wheel sometimes. And I think that's the part where you may want to do more, or you may want to impart some of your own thoughts, and you want to kind of stray away from the norm. You can't do that in investment
No.
banking. You can't. You gotta, the norm is the way. You gotta put your head down. And I think that's where like the latter part of my years, less about just like, it was less about banking, more just I felt like I wanted more, and I wanted to be a bit more creative in what I was doing, and the models I was creating, or the PowerPoints, and that sort of friction led to, okay, I think I need to change things up. And when we were coming up with, my partner and I, when we were coming up with, what are the possible possible options for us, like after banking, this was one of the ideas where we both love to eat. So this checks that off. We had conviction in the idea. It didn't really exist in the market. There's peanut butter, there's been almond butter. There isn't really pistachio butter. There's like pistachio creams, but it's all just dairy, high in sugar. Like you can't eat that every day. Or there might be like pistachios and salt. But that's like, that doesn't taste very good. Yeah. So when we saw like there's a lack in the market, there's an actual problem to solve, an opportunity in this market. We didn't know anything about running a company, but we did know we had the basics from investment banking.
I want to get to Stesh. I want to spend a little bit more time just in like the trenches of banking. So for a lot of folks, like in banking, there's a lot of hard days, and oftentimes there's more bad days than good days. Take us to a moment or a time where you really looked in the mirror and thought like, this is not going to be what I'm going to do for the next 5 years or even next year.
Yeah, I think for me, I would look at, some of the seniors in my team and see their life, and I didn't want to do that. Right. I didn't want to be 30, 40 and logging back on at 9 p.m. And right, I want to spend time with my kids. I want some flexibility. And I think that was the real moment. If you can't see yourself in where you would be in 5-10 years, where someone is right now, like that's a real testament. Like if you can't see yourself, then you might think, oh, it'll be different for me. But chances are that's not really going to be the case. Like there's some things in your control, and you can have more boundaries, and you can try your best, but things are going to blow up, right? Like, and that's just the function of the job. And that was when I was like, no, like I don't think I want to be doing this in 5-10 years. Like I want more flexibility. I want to enjoy my not even just day to day. I want to enjoy my hour by hour. Like I don't want to be sitting and waiting for comments
and have a path to control.
Exactly. And I didn't really know that entrepreneurship would be that path for me until I kind of went into it. And that has its own challenges, but it's definitely given that flexibility.
I totally understand. Like you're just waiting for that person above you to review what you're working on, or you're waiting for the person below you to hand you something so you can review it. You're constantly in this dance, in this cycle with other people.
Exactly.
And you're part of like a cog, like you're a gear in a massive machine, which has its benefits. You understand how the machine works, but
there's so much like of that waiting time that really just eats up your day. And you can't unplug because you got to be available for when that email does come. And I feel like that's the part where it drains you a lot, when you have to be available, but you're also not working. But then when you have to work, it ends up being like, okay, email comes in at 10 p.m. and then you're stuck working for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So versus now, I would say my day to day, like I'm working longer hours, but it's more productive. Like if I'm working from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Like I'm on like the whole time. I'm thinking about everything from the business from all different lenses. There's no waiting time. If I'm going to take a break, I'm going to go to the gym for an hour, or I'm going to go for a walk. I can do that. I'm not just stuck in the middle and I'm half on, half off. I can fully just step away, do my personal life, and then come back to business.
Yeah. Absolutely. Is there anything that, for me, there's a handful of things, but is there anything that like investment banking trained you to do that now is like a liability for you?
The details. I would just, I definitely have an eye for picking out like, if the font's off, the sizing, the colors aren't matching. And it was great in banking and that really helped me. Like it saved a lot of time in reviewing my own work and then my analyst work. But now trying to run something and build a company, you can't get lost in the details. And I definitely think I do sometimes. And I have to just like step back. And it's like, it's better to be 80% of the way on the bigger picture than get lost in the little details and you only get the 20%. So that's something I'm actively working on, to just step away sometimes. It doesn't have to be perfect. It comes in handy, but it probably does more harm on some days, even if I'm just like editing a reel and I just get stuck up on like the little edits.
Endless.
Yeah. So I need to be better, and just, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be 80% of the way.
Yeah. There's this quote I like that's like, it just needs to be. You can make it.
Oh, I love
later.
that. Not even 80%. It just needs to be.
It just needs to be. Yeah.
I'm going to write that.
Yeah. That's actually from, I think, The Musical Company. It just needs to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Now shifting to Stesh. So we were talking a little bit about like seeing the gap in the market. It's like an idea that was interesting to you and you thought like the product might be tasty and delicious, which it is. What was the first signal that this is something that is working?
Having like our friends and then eventually strangers eat it. Because like I have friends, I mean, they loved it, but they're also maybe just being nice. Like but having like a real stranger had no like affiliation with this person. That's the real test. And as soon as someone tries this, they're just like mind blown. No one has tasted anything like this. And then when we go through the ingredients or we tell them it's packed with 6 grams protein, 3 grams fiber, it's like, wait, what? Like this tastes like a dessert, and it tastes like, oh, it's not going to do me any good, but it actually does. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that sort of realization is like irreplaceable. And that's kind of what keeps us going.
Yeah. I'm going to ask a loaded question. Who did you disappoint the most when you picked this path?
Tough one for sure. I don't even know if it was like disappointment, but probably just like a surprise. I think for my parents, I don't think they ever thought that I would do this. And even like while growing up, I knew like, okay, get good grades, get a good job. But I was always the quiet one. And
in your house?
In my house, quiet one. I was the youngest. I was
youngest of two.
Youngest of two. And I was the daughter. So it was always just like, I was always more quiet, more reserved. And even in school, like I would never be the first one to raise my hand. Maybe in Ivey, like I started to, and that's kind of when I ventured into just like being more confident in my skill, and you kind of had to with participation, right? But before then, so I was very much like quiet, like I'm just going to follow my path. And being an entrepreneur, like that, you got to be okay with being uncomfortable. You got to put yourself out there. When we go door to door to retailers, it's a 50-50 shot. You got to like pitch your product, and maybe you get in, but maybe you get rejected. And dealing with that, like I don't think 10-year-old me would, if like my 10-year-old me would be like, oh hell no, like I'm not gonna go do that. Like I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna stay in my bedroom. Like, yeah. But now I think so yeah. So to answer that, I think my parents always knew that I was more the quiet one, like, and I was a bit more shy. And if they could just like, if they would see how I am now, I think they would be like, wow, like we're so proud of you that you've done this.
Yeah. Starting a business is not easy. Has there been any times where you were like, maybe we should just give this up?
Almost like every day at some point. It can be any moment. You know, sometimes a retailer replies and says the product isn't selling fast enough. And we're like, oh my gosh, like this journey, like this is it. We got to shut the business down. Like no one's buying it. But then the same day, then you end up like, we check on Amazon, we're like selling lots and lots of units. So it kind of just like balances out. Or then other days, you know, how there's like a sometimes I think about like our old lives
Mm-hmm. In banking.
in banking, and well, not even the banking, the fun stuff. You know, like going on vacation.
Mm.
I would love to just like go for 2 weeks, shut my laptop, and you maybe answer some emails. But now we don't have that luxury. Like we always have to be available.
You are the business.
I am the business. Exactly. Yeah. We are the business. So those are sometimes I'm like, oh, like that, like you kind of take it for granted in the moment to be able to just like shut off your laptop and like go escape for a week, 2 weeks and not have to worry about that. But now we're not able to do that. But you kind of pick and choose. Like I wouldn't change like my lifestyle now. Like I have the flexibility, like I can work any hours of the day, like I can take that vacation, but it may just be like I'll be working throughout. And which I'm like, I would still do that if it means like more frequent. You know, I can go to the gym whenever I need to. I can go visit my parents. I can go to a beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm not staying at like a 5-star resort and more
Not
just
yet.
not yet, maybe one day, but you can still enjoy your day to day.
Yeah. And how do you think about that? Like if you are getting, a moment of negative feedback, what's the experience?
Oftentimes, if you end up just like talking to the other side, things can be fixed. In the moment, you think it's like such a big deal, like, oh my gosh, like they're going to kick us out. Or we had a similar experience where we were going to be entering a store and one of the managers was confusing us with another company, and that company was like associated with some like bad press or something like that. And they sent a huge email saying, unfortunately, we won't be able to carry your product, even though they
confused you for someone else.
It was like a spelling error and someone in like the Middle East, and they just like they were like, oh, we only do like US products. So had we not like just stayed calm, we just like stayed calm, we got on the phone with them.
And so you and your partner are like, you're workshopping it in real time, like you're leaning on each other.
Exactly.
For like
what should
emotional
we do?
Support in that moment.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the biggest help, because if sometimes when you're on your own, you may spiral or you act out of spite, and maybe you end up making the wrong move. You know, in that moment, if you could just be like, oh, like I'm just gonna move on. Like I don't need this retailer anymore. If they don't want me, I don't want them. But at the end of the day, like in that scenario, we just got on the phone. We're just like, oh, hey, like, we saw your email. I just wanted to like check in and clear the air. Like clearly there was like some confusion, but if you just act out of like instinct, sometimes it's not the right move.
Yeah.
Versus like hear the other side and like think it through, just be calm. And we've had like other scenarios like where a lot of the times like the initial reaction like is not going to be telling of the situation. You know, like when someone like you get a message from a friend and you're just like you're pissed off. It's not the message you were expecting. But if you just like reply to them right away, you might say something you might regret. Okay. Versus if you just like wait a little bit and then you kind of understand what they're saying and you find like a solution.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like that.
But times like when you are thinking like, I got to give this up and like move on, like what is fueling you to say, let's just do one more day?
It really does just come down to,
what does it feel like? If you're like, I reject the idea of failure. I reject that this is the end of the story.
You just have to tell yourself it's worth it. We have a good product. Like all of the signs are there. We like customers love it. We get great feedback. Like that's what keeps us going. Like as soon
Looking at the external.
It's the external. And then the external feeds the internal. That sort of positivity around you then fuels you to keep going. And it's like the possibilities are endless and you really have to be passionate. That's like number one. You can't, if you don't believe in your own product, you're not going to do very well. Because there's so many, as much as there are external forces that are going to like your product, they're going to give you affirmation, there's also a lot of external forces that are going to give you doubt. that are going to give you that negative feedback again and again and again. And you're going to get negative remarks all the time. But if you don't believe in your own product, you're going to feed into that. But if you believe, you have conviction, you have data points, you have proof points, you just have to keep pushing through.
Because you want it.
Because you want it, exactly. You want it to do well. You know it will do well. Maybe you need to tweak your strategy, make some changes. Like, that's all the execution part. But doing isn't the hard part. It's the believing. You really have to believe in something. And especially we have the foundation from investment banking. Any corporate life, you pick up some skills. That's going to help you execute whatever vision you have. But the belief, you really got to believe in it. The skills won't get you what you need. It has to have some heart in it. You have to believe in it, and then you use your skills to propel yourself.
I like that. Where does that belief come from?
Honestly, the product. Every time I eat the product, I'm just transported back to when we were making this in the blender, and just the first thought of, let's quit our jobs and do this. Every single time I eat the product, because that's how good it tastes to me, and it makes me feel good, and it brings me back to that happy moment of leaving investment banking and being so excited about this next journey. So I feel like anyone else that's eating it, if it gives them even a second of joy in their day, my job is done. And everyone could use a little bit of joy in their day. So that's I truly believe that food is the way to someone's heart, and we eat 3 meals a day. So it's such a big part of our day to day, and being intentional, being mindful, enjoying what you put in your body. You're having your meals with your friends, with your significant other, with your family. It's such a precious moment. And if we get to be a part of that, that's all I could ask for.
It's so intimate.
Yeah, it really is, right?
Yeah.
You eat so multiple meals a day, and you could have just toast and coffee, or you could have a steak dinner, right? It's what you make out of the meal and who you have it with. It's what you're going to remember.
Okay, I'm going to...
Any more questions?
I'm looking, I have some suggestions, but I'm thinking what's most interesting. I'm curious, in banking, for me at least, and I think this is applicable for a lot of corporate jobs, where your determination of what is correct, what is right, what's the next step, often comes from people above you, people outside of just yourself. You're rarely in the corporate world making decisions all on your own. So when did you notice the shift between making decisions trusting your gut, trusting yourself, and making decisions completely basically on your own or with your partner, as opposed to looking for that external instruction manual?
I feel in banking, and at least in my latter years, I would have the right, like you were saying, the correct answer a lot more times with, say, my VP, and the VP would sort of turn me down, but then I'd find out that the MD would have the same idea. So I felt
Really?
Yeah, I had a couple instances, and I started to push back a little bit too, and that's kind of when I was okay, I can start trusting my gut. And
my ideas are being corroborated by
exactly
even more senior.
Yeah, so I feel that validation of, okay, here's a job that I've done for a bit, and I can start trusting my gut. And now that's all it is. It's always trusting your gut.
Yeah.
It's trial and error. Sometimes we make the bad call, but you end up just deal with it and you move on. It's a bad call. 9 times out of 10, the bad call, you just think it's a bad call, but you can always fix it.
Yeah.
There's nothing, there's like very few things in this world that like you can't really replace when it comes to business. Like maybe you make a bad call, okay, but then you could find a way to fix it. It's not the end of it. And I think that's like the hardest thing that our minds aren't comfortable with, because you're like, oh, I
Absolutely.
have to get it perfect the first time.
Right.
And I especially like, I think for women even more.
Yeah.
Like we're
Especially
just
in
like,
banking. It's like perfectionism is like drilled into your head.
exactly. And you're just like, you feel like added pressure, and you just like, you're going to doubt yourself. And so you just don't even trust your gut. You're like, okay, like I'm just going to go with whatever someone says.
Right. Like, can I Google every single part of this?
Yeah. So now it's just, it's all just trusting my gut. And as soon as, I mean, you trust your gut once, you get a good outcome from it, that like propels you, and then you can do it more and more. But if you never even like trust your gut and you just go with someone, then you're just going to become complacent.
Yeah. I found that a lot too. Like outsourcing intuition. I found that happened to me in banking. And then it takes like times like betting on yourself, taking a chance and like finding things that work, don't work, succeeding, failing. And then you create like a larger roadmap in your head and actually start to like form your intuition, because otherwise it's like this formless thing. It is random to start, and then clarity comes with action.
Absolutely.
What do you think is a hard truth about entrepreneurship that most people get wrong or avoid?
You know, it seems fun that I don't have a boss, right? Like I'm my own boss. Like, oh, like isn't that the dream? But you also have to keep yourself accountable. If you're not doing the work, work's not getting done. You're not going to make any progress. All that vision boarding and here's where I see myself in a year, 2 years, like that won't happen. And that's the part I think is the hardest for a lot of people. If you lack discipline and you need structure in your life, entrepreneurship is going to be really, really hard. And whether it's like set hours of, okay, I know I need to start my day at 9, or this is what I need to get done today. Like in a corporate job, you're kind of given the instruction manual, right? And you kind of just have to follow it, and you know what's expected of you. But now, like I'm making my own call of when do I want to wake up in the morning? When do I want to schedule this call? What am I getting done today? And some days I might get overwhelmed and I don't end up actually getting through my list. And then other days I'm like way more productive. Something that's helped is definitely been like every day, what are 3 things that I want to get done? Not like I want to get this. Like then you're just in a constant wheel.
Yeah. You're creating structure, like defined scopes, like per day.
Yeah. 3 things that I want to get done today. And as long as I get those 3, it's a good day. Yeah. And if I want to get like a workout in, like scheduling that, and I know, okay, I'm going to get these things done beforehand. And then I'm going to take, a couple hours to myself, and that's kind of my day. So every day I do have to actively make my schedule.
Yeah.
So, and that planning piece also takes up time too.
Yeah.
Like I got to think about when I'm going to be doing my
You're
calls.
the MD, you're the director, you're the VP, the associate.
There you go.
And the intern.
I'm all of the above. So it might seem fun, and it has its perks, but it also has its downside.
I think about how banking is, I would call that doing a hard thing. It's a challenging job to have like right out of school, and it can teach you a lot about grit, resilience, coming back from failure, coming back from a hard day and getting back in the saddle. There's this quote from Andrew Huberman that I like. It says, "The reason to deliberately do hard things is so that when non-self-elected challenges arrive, and they will, you can tell yourself, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I am certain I can do hard things." How does that quote land with you? Like, what do you think about that?
For me, from a young age, when I put my mind towards something, I would get it done, or I would get it. 5-year-old me, like I wanted a toy in the store, and I would just continuously talk about it, eat my dad's ear off, like be in that aisle, like every time we'd go into the store, and I'd make sure I'd get that toy.
You were persistent.
I was very persistent. I would say like that's kind of always been the case And that transitioned or that transferred into my like picking which school I wanted to go to, picking my career. Like I had my head set on I want to do investment banking. At that point I didn't even know what it really was, but
What did you know about it?
I knew it was a finance job. I knew I knew that I would want to do it in New York, and part of the appeal was to be in New York, right?
Right.
And seeing all like the New York movies growing up, I was like, "Oh, I want to go do that." Like I want
What
to
did New
live
York
near
mean to you?
What did New York mean to me?
Yeah, like what was it in your head?
Freedom. For me, I think it was like I want to go live in a new place, do whatever I want to do. Like I love like being in the city, just being able to walk out and go do whatever I want in the day. Go grab some coffee, go meet a friend, go shopping, like and I don't have to worry about like taking the car and answering to someone. And so for me, it was like a city of possibilities and I could do whatever I wanted to. And I really grew in this city. I feel like from the 5 years that I've been here, the first day to now, like I've just gotten so much more comfortable in my own skin, gotten like everything that I've done in my career, even just like taking this entrepreneurship opportunity, I don't think I would have been able to do it in any other city. Just like being in this environment and like the energy of the city, and everyone just you strive for more because everyone is so busy in the city, and everyone it takes a lot to be here. It's an expensive city. You want to maximize your
You
time.
have to want to be here
You have to want to be
every
here.
day.
Yeah.
Every day when I come out of the subway and it's like a wind tunnel.
It sucks,
so
but I'm like, I'm here. Like, I'm gonna make the most of like
Yeah.
getting out of the subway, right? Like, every moment counts, and that just goes back to like, I knew I wanted to do this job, set my set my head.
By this job, you mean banking to start.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do banking. I knew I wanted to be in New York, and did whatever it took. Like I was in like the library reading like the Wall Street prep guides, just practicing for interviews, like doing
That
all
brought out a core memory. That's crazy.
doing all
I
of
forgot
that,
about
right? Like, and I look back sometimes and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's how I spent some of my Friday nights.
Mm.
But I guess it was worth it. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have done investment banking. I wouldn't have been in New York. I would not have been an entrepreneur and take this journey right now. So now I'm like, my head is set on doing this journey, making like pistachio butter, the best nut butter, making sure everyone tries it, everyone's addicted to it, and it's good for you, so it's a good addiction to have, and really make this into like a really successful business.
Yeah, that's the vision for Stesh.
That's the vision. Yeah. It's this is gonna be the best nut butter. Peanut butter's been around for like way too long. It's time for
Get
a
out peanut
change.
butter.
Yeah. And like
Frogs.
Nutella is just all sugar too.
Yeah,
And
like relax.
so it's time to change things up. It's time for a revamp. And pistachios are hot right now. Everything pistachio.
Yes.
So this is the time, and like so I'm confident given like just persistence.
Yeah. Who's more persistent, your mom or your dad? Like, where does that come from?
Hmm. That's a good question.
Or were you just born with that?
I think they both are, to be honest. But I would say like I think out of my whole family, I'm the most persistent. Just it probably at a young age was like kind of like nagging, like, "Oh, like can I please get this toy? Please, 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 please." But now I'm like that nagging child turned into someone that like if I want something, like I'm gonna get it, and I'm confident and I'll find a way to get it.
Yeah. I relate to that heavily. Final question. If your parents were listening to this, what's something that you would want to say to them or want them to know?
This has been a lot on parents focus.
We have to get the character formation.
Oh my gosh. I would just tell my parents, don't worry, everything will work out. It'll be a long journey, but it'll be worth it.
True. That's great. Are there any like mentors that you still keep around or like folks that you like look up to or even in like the public sphere?
Yeah. I'd say honestly, like I had some really great mentors in banking. Some of my MDs, one in particular, I definitely still keep in touch with, and he was part of the reason why I even lasted for 5 years.
Yeah.
It's it's so key to have a great boss, someone you can actually talk to, and they're banking a normal person. Very, very rare.
So rare.
So rare, right? If you know, you know.
Oh my gosh.
And just like seeing how he conducted his work and how he interacted with like seniors and juniors, I think that's something that like I want to emulate when we become larger and we hire people. And that'll be an interesting transition, like having employees. And right now it's just the two of us and things are very central and I can be involved in everything. But there's going to be a point where that's not going to be possible. And I think that's where I would really look at some of the past bosses I've had, or even like our founders, and how did they go about leading a team as opposed to just doing everything yourself. Or like, it's like, what type of boss do you want to be?
Yeah. Did you learn any kinds of bosses you don't want to be in your time in corporate?
Banking, yeah, definitely. I think everyone's seen like that screaming MD on the floor, or the MD that, is like always going to find faults and things. But the good ones, it's like, positive affirmation, like, just saying thanks.
Shocking.
Shocking.
Rare aesthetic. Thank you.
Saying thank you, thanks for the hard work, and
Extremely God.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
We're talking about like mentors and
Yeah,
like it's a kind of boss like that you're like, okay, this is the kind of manager I'd like
I had
to
a
be.
boss. I had a boss who would stay with us on Zoom calls, and it'd be like 1 a.m. at night, and we were trying to figure out like what's wrong with the bottle, and our MD would be on the call with us.
Wow.
That was like any time I tell that story to anyone in banking or any other job, they're like, they don't believe me.
Yeah, that's shocking.
So shocking. But yeah, that's the type of boss. Like, I mean, I don't know if I would want to be up at 1 a.m., but that just kind of shows you like
But you're committed.
you're committed.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way. Like I remember that moment till now. And that's like the type of feeling like I got from that. I'd want, like, if I was the boss and I had employees later on, like I would want my employees to be like, oh wow, like she really cares about us and she's willing to get deep in the trenches and get her hands dirty.
Yeah. Cool. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up? Any final thoughts about entrepreneurship, advice, things people should know, warnings, warning label?
Warning, I mean, your lifestyle may change. Advice, like honestly, I think the best piece of advice would be just go for it. Um if there's something you want to do, there's no better time than now. And you're always going to have excuses like not to do something, and you get in your own head, and oh, like maybe you think it's not a good idea, or like I don't think this is going to help. There's a need for this, but I think just like get out, like don't be in your head so much and just go for it. Like talk to people, like test out the idea, like do a proof of concept. And the proof of concept, like it doesn't have to be like spend thousands of dollars to get a prototype. Like you can just do an at home mini version of whatever you're trying to do, right?
Yeah. Bare bones.
Bare bones, just go for it. Just literally like start somewhere, and you'll end up iterating. And nowadays, like ChatGPT is like so awesome, or Gemini, like, right? You can literally just be sitting, shoot some ideas, and it can create like it can tell you right away if this idea exists. What are you up against? Or is this a good idea? Like you can ask it so many questions, and you can do like that initial sense check. You don't have to just like scour
sounding board. Yeah.
the sounding board. Yeah, chat, like
it has the internet.
Exactly.
It's looking up against.
Yeah, we use it all the time too. Like if we're thinking about, it could literally be anything, but if we're thinking about like a new market, a new like distribution channel, or what types of like new products we're thinking about. It's a great way to just do like that initial sense check and like bounce your ideas off of.
Yeah, absolutely. Arsh Toor, thank you so much for coming on the Gut Podcast. Thank you for sharing about Stesh. It's been a pleasure hearing about your journey from Ivy to banking to now entrepreneurship. Stepped off the cliff into the void and you're flying. Congrats on your business so far. It's been a pleasure to watch you succeed and rooting for you and Stesh in the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Woo! We did it.